Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily as we're calling our readings through the 1,775 poems of the Johnson edition of the poems of Emily Dickinson. We turn now to poem number 37, Before the Ice is in the Pools. Here we will have possibly another Sue poem, as we have called a couple of others. The poem 14 was our beginning of these Sue poems written for her pal Sue. Our assumptions here are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist. I'm hopeful that you've been exposed to the intro lecture, and then we just finished with the first 37 poems. I just finished with, I counted poem 37. Now, let's enjoy this poem, and I love the way in which Emily is trying to capture the essence of anticipation, especially of a pal. Notice the construction with the four befores. Before the ice is in the pools, before the skaters go, or any cheek at nightfall is tarnished by the snow, before the fields have finished, before the Christmas tree, wonder upon wonder will arrive to me. What we touch the hems of on a summer's day, what is only walking just a bridge away, that which sings so, speaks so, when there's no one here. Will the frock I wept in answer me to wear? Now I love the way in which Emily is able to capture the energy of anticipation, and I love the allusion or referencing that will happen to a biblical story that Emily's audience would understand immediately. Notice we're going to first of all place this all in time, this moment, that is to say, before winter and Christmas, right? Before the ice is in the pools, before the skaters go, or any cheek at nightfall is tarnished by the snow. I love the word tarnished here. I've told you that so many of her poems seem to hang on a single word at times. And then she's back to it, before the fields have finished, before the Christmas tree, and then it becomes, oh, okay. In other words, before winter and Christmas, and then it's wonder upon wonder will arrive. Notice it's to me, not for me, it's to me with an exclamation point. And many have read this as, of course, her pal Sue, who is coming back to be with her. What we touch the hems of on a summer's day. Now, this idea of the hems is going to take us to the frock that we'll finish with, and of course, Emily in her dress, her predictable white dress, and all of that comes to mind. But Emily's audience, and it's in my estimation clear that Emily is playing the game of the story of Matthew 9:21, where Christ is touched by a woman who just wants to reach out, and a language is, if I do but touch his garment, I shall be whole. I shall be made whole. This idea of, just touching the hem of the garment. So that's the game she's playing here. What we touch the hems of on a summer's day, what is only, I love the use of that word only, walking just a bridge away. In other words, so close. That which sings so, speaks so, when there's no one here. The idea of intimacy, in other words. Will the frock I wept in other words, while my pal was away I was crying, answer me to wear. In other words, what should I wear when my pal, maybe Sue, returns? Will it be the same garment that I was crying in? Now I will be obviously ecstatic in. At 2A for themes messages here, I think that one thing we can say is that the best thing about missing a pal is their return. Anticipation is wonderful, in other words. At 2B, I love this allusion to the hem of the garment of Matthew 9:21, and of course that takes us to 3A. And as well, the other 3A, the other Sue poems, especially poem 14, you can go back and see what we had to say there in poem 14. Again, our study, and my assumption, is that we're building on previous studies. So you're going to find yourself, as you annotate, what I'm hopeful that you're doing is annotating your Johnson edition of the complete poems of Emily Dickinson, that you're going to find yourself going back and saying, oh yeah, I remember when I did poem 14, there was a similar kind of excitement or anticipation. Finally, at 3B, how are we going to own a poem like this? What was a time in your own life when you were excited for the return of your pal? And to what degree were you able to formalize that anticipation? I'm hopeful that you're excited now and you're anticipating each new poem that you're studying of Emily's. Thank you.